You know, we have many redneck atheists here on YouTube. Some of them are very popular. All of them are irrational. Consider Tooltime9901. I sent him a video titled The Redneck Atheist, How to Answer One. Oh yeah, you can watch the video if you want by clicking the link I provided in the description box of this video. Well anyways, in that video, I argue against the empirical thought of today's redneck atheist. Now after watching the video, Tooltime sent me the following response. Dated December 23, 2009, Tooltime wrote the following, and I quote, LOL, not sure why you think I'm a redneck atheist, as I believe none of what you say a redneck atheist does in that video, and I have studied epistemology, end quote. What? Was Tooltime actually asserting he did not hold to an empirical epistemology? Well, I had to hear more of this, so I asked him to explain, and he did. And here is where things start to get a bit redneck. In his next message, also dated December 23, 2009, Tooltime wrote the following, and I quote, For someone who seems to want to brag about knowing more about philosophy than atheists, you don't seem to grasp that empiricism is not relativism. Empiricists need not reject a priori or other types of rational knowledge, nor need they be relativists. I am empiricist, in the sense that most of what we can know about the world is empirical, end quote. Well now, bad grammar aside, let's try to focus on what he said. So, in this video, I will focus on Tooltime's foolish claim that empiricism accepts a priori knowledge. You see, it doesn't. Empiricism, by definition, rejects a priori knowledge. Empiricists reject the notion of innate ideas, for they believe in tabula rasa. For example, British empiricist John Locke argued against a priori knowledge in his classic work titled An Essay Concerning Human Understanding. This is very basic information. You learn it in most introductory philosophy classes. Now, Book 1 of Locke's famous essay is titled Neither Principles Nor Ideas Are Innate. Again, basic information. Responding to John Locke was one of his contemporaries, rationalist G.W. Leibniz, who rejected John Locke's empiricism and argued for innate ideas in his classic work titled New Essays on Human Understanding. Tooltime's ignorance of empiricism reveals that he has not studied even the basic material concerning the subject of epistemology. In a standard philosophy text, William F. Lawhead correctly writes the following, and I quote, The empiricists compare the mind to a blank tablet upon which experience makes its marks. That's your tabula rasa theory there. In saying that experience is our source of knowledge, the empiricist believes we have to be content with conclusions that are probably rather than absolutely certain, because most reasoning that is based on sense experience takes the form of inductive arguments. Sense experience may be incapable of providing the absolute certainty that rationalists demand, but it is all we have to go on. According to the empiricist, every idea, concept, or term must be tested by tracing it back to an original experience from which it was derived. The empiricists offer a number of arguments to undermine the hypothesis that there are innate ideas latent in the mind. End quote. The Philosophical Journey and Interactive Approach, Chapter 2, pages 117 through 118. Well, this simple and basic information indicates that empiricism does not teach that some human knowledge is innate. Tooltime9901 is a perfect example of what I call a redneck atheist. In closing, I will leave the viewer with this wonderful refutation of empiricism provided by Calvinist John W. Robbins. Refuting the empiricism of Ayn Rand, Dr. Robbins writes the following, and I quote, Rand maintained that the child, every child, knows nothing. His mind is unexposed, and yet he has a conscious mind. The contradiction is inherent in the notion of a tabula rasa mind. A mind that is tabula rasa is simply not a mind. Consciousness, conscious of nothing, is simply not a consciousness. A mind that is empty is not a mind, any more than a geometrical figure that has no sides is a geometrical figure. The egregious contradiction lies at the foundation of Rand's epistemology. Not only Rand's, but at the base of all empirical philosophies, including those of John Locke, Thomas Aquinas, and Aristotle. End quote. Without a prayer, Ayn Rand and the close of her system. Chapter 3, pages 30 through 31.